are dead. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead.
Well, hello there, breathers.
And welcome back
To another...
Historic. Have I used that one already?
Well, all of our episodes are historic.
Always historic.
Artistic.
Autistic.
Yeah.
Always funny.
Yeah, we try to be funny.
Always off the beaten path.
Something like that.
Something like that episode of All My Favorite People
Are Dead.
They're pushing up flowers, baby. They're on the wrong side of the earth.
Well, is it the wrong side, though?
Well, yeah, because they're not alive.
Yeah, but it might look better down there.
In the dirt, being maggot food? Really?
It might be appealing. I don't know.
Okay, so she's Shannon Butler.
Yeah, Shannon's weird today. And she is Sue Teresi.
And she's weird all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
She meaning me. Well,
And
us.
Us. We're both
We're
weird.
both. That's why we love each other.
We absolutely adore each other.
We do.
Yes.
We do. And we're weird together.
We
and
are.
that's okay.
Yeah. So, what's good? What did you do this weekend, Sue?
Oh, thank you for asking. I like to go to the lake.
Yes, I love the lake.
I am an adult swimmer. I know there's something called adult swim, but that's this.
That's different.
I know. I learned how to swim this year at the ripe old age of blah, blah, blah.
And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Really
I'm
am.
learning how to swim.
We can always grow as we age.
I'm telling you know what it is? So for a kid like me who grew up in the hood, we used to jump through the fire hydrants.
Yeah.
Not a good way to learn how to swim.
I jumped in the Hudson River.
But you learn how to swim.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, my alternative was like, Coney Island, you can't really swim in the ocean. At least I couldn't because they were like rocks and undertow and it was just, so the older I got, the harder it became to feel comfortable in the water. And finally this year I said, what the hell with this? I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I did it.
And you got your swimmies.
We don't wear swimmies, they wear goggles.
Goggles? Okay.
I put on my goggles.
All right.
Yeah, and that enables me to not be afraid to put my face in the water and wear my goggles and swim, and I learned all those. And it is like, whoa, like I get out of breath.
Yeah.
Like I've been like athletic my whole life, but doing that, I was like,
It's a great
wow.
Yeah.
And it's also like a breath, you don't think about breathing. I mean, even in yoga, deep cleansing breaths, right? You can't do that when your face is underwater.
That's true.
It's either blow out or hold your breath so I'm learning how to coordinate all that.
Okay.
But I like to go to the lake, and there are fishies in the lake.
They're so cute.
And it's not the ocean.
Right. It's calm.
It's calm. There's no hypodermics that wash up on the shore. There's no da-da.
Jaws.
There's none of that. There's little fishies.
There's a snapping turtle up there. I know that.
Yeah, you saw the.
I've seen him.
Okay, but he's out there, and it's very clean. And a lot of times when I go, I see baptisms.
Yes, I've seen those.
Which, hey, you know me, I don't like anybody, so I don't really care what other people do because Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care. But I just find it. Large groups of people come in white robes.
Yep.
And they all have their balloons and their signs and their
music
guitars.
and
they're all doing this like mega baptism in front of the lifeguard.
They're
And I'm like, hey, we invented this.
They're dipping for Jesus.
Yeah, amen, sister. We kind of, I think, invented this. We have something, I don't even know if it's called the mikvah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're aware. Okay. So it's the same thing, it's a cleansing, and I totally get that. But cleansing in the salt water with the fish and the lifeguard and the sunscreen, I just find it, I'm more curious than anything else. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. What else can you do at a public lake other than fish, water ski, and perform a baptism? Yeah. It's for babies.
No, it's not for adults.
It's grown-ups. Yeah, it's grown-ups. So I find that cool. No swimmies.
No.
They don't wear the little swim fins.
They're like in full
robes, full clothing, which I don't get either.
Yeah.
Because to me,
you're going to be soggy the rest of the day.
not only that, wasn't like one of the leading causes, I think, women's dresses hundreds of years ago.
Well, they were a lot heavier than what we're wearing today.
But those caught fire.
Yeah.
But when you look at like things like my grandmother would have worn to the beach, they wore like a whole shirt and pants and a bottom. That doesn't absorb water and make you like go under. And I'm looking at these, and I know they're not swimming.
No.
But to me, it's just the safety thing. I'm like, maybe they could do like, so I've invented what I like to call the baptismal bikini.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's like white, and it's got a thing, and this way you can get baptized in it, and it doesn't absorb the water, and then you could swim.
Okay.
See what I did there? Rather than
that. Yeah.
I'm gonna pitch that.
Okay. Baptismal bikini.
Yeah, I'm gonna pitch that next time I go to the lake.
I like it.
Rather than wearing like a pretty dress or suit and a white robe, and I'm like, that's gonna pull you people under.
Well, they got their priests to save them, so it's okay.
And the lifeguard, because they only do it when there's a lifeguard sitting there.
That's true.
But I'm like, if you didn't have the robes and you wore your baptismal bikini,
You'd be nice and
you'd
comfy.
be good to go.
Yeah.
And you would get a tan.
And a tan. Wow.
I know, right? Always thinking.
Always thinking.
Always thinking.
You're a genius.
Oh boy, yeah. And the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Well, speaking of geniuses.
Oh, other than me?
Other than you.
Oh.
We're going to talk about someone who was considered a genius.
Okay.
By many.
Okay.
Yeah. Today. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
It's you.
Yeah. Jean-Michel Basquiat. He is one of the youngest artists to ever exhibit at the Whitney Biennial. And
Wait, let me guess. This is how much of a genius I am, Shan. You ready?
Okay.
Let me guess. It's the shot in the dark. He was French?
No.
His name is Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
And that ain't French?
He's not French, no.
What the hell kind of name is that?
Well, he's the son of a Haitian father and a Puerto Rican mother. So
Look, that's like Creole, right? Isn't it like a French Creole?
Well, yeah, he could speak French. He could speak several languages,
Told you
actually.
so.
But he's not French. He was born in Brooklyn. Okay.
So was I.
Yeah, exactly. So you should know each other.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah.
We went to school together. He taught me how to swim.
He is
I saw his baptism.
You saw his baptism. His rise to fame was fast yet painfully brief.
He must have had a fudged up childhood with a name like that in Brooklyn. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
That's a name, boy. Okay.
His work represents his beliefs. And he used several different styles, genres, mediums, and media to get his point across in ways that were considered beautiful by many and confusing by others.
I'm already confused.
I can tell.
But I digress.
I can tell.
Crickets.
Basquiat was born in Brooklyn on December 22nd, 1960. As I said, the son of a Haitian father, Gerard, and Puerto Rican mother, Matilda. And they lived in a decidedly middle-class neighborhood in Brooklyn. He had two sisters and a brother. Sadly, his brother died right about the same time that he was born. His mother noticed that Jean-Michel loved to draw and color pretty much nonstop. So she encouraged his love of art from an early age, and she took him to a lot of local art museums. He was an incredibly fast learner. He knew how to read by the age of 4. That's a sign of genius. Yeah.
So did
yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You could read by the age of 4?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, you are a genius. I told you you were a genius. I knew that. I knew there was something amazing about you.
Okay.
He spoke 3 languages. However, several childhood traumas left their mark on Basquiat's life, including being hit by a car at the age of 7 in the streets of Brooklyn, which required a surgery to remove his spleen.
Well, you don't need your spleen.
No, you don't. But still, he's 7. He also, later on that same year, his parents divorced and his mother suffered from psychological problems, which sent her into an asylum.
Jeez.
Forcing the young and rebellious Basquiat to live with his father, who was kind of controlling. Basquiat also claims that his father beat him, which his father later denied. When he was 15, he ran away from home and he lived in Washington Square Park, where he ended up trying LSD and other drugs and doing all kinds of really questionable things.
Okay.
His father found him, he had shaved his head, and he forced him to come home and return to his studies. However, this young artist believed that he was too bright for school, and he probably was.
Yeah.
And he dropped out at the age of 17, and as a result of this, his father kicked him out, and he had to live on the streets. Again. He slept in park benches and flea bag hotels and on the sofas of friends and lovers. And for a while, he did that before teaming up with his friend and fellow artist, Al Diaz. They established...
I can pronounce that name.
There you go.
Aldier.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Jean-Michel. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, come on. You can do that. Hey, what were we just saying? You're a genius? Come on.
We said I was an effing genius.
Okay.
Jean-Michel
Basquiat.
Basquiat.
Yes. Okay.
Do I have to spell that? Because
No.
Jean-Michel. That I can pronounce. Basquiat. Oui, oui.
So anyway, while he was working with his friend Al Diaz, they established this thing they called Samo, which essentially meant same old shit. And it was a form of poetic street art.
Okay.
They would end up launching Basquiat's career, essentially. They would paint these cryptic wall paintings and poems, which generally would show up as graffiti.
Graffiti. I think I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name.
He was,
I know what you're talking about.
he would do a lot of these pieces outside of major art galleries where buyers and dealers began to take notice. Soon, his wall graffiti was mentioned in local publications like the Village Voice, and he was seen on public access television. So he started to get his name out there. While still experimenting with various forms of art, he decided to venture into the world of music as well during this time and became involved in a band named Grey. The name came from Grey's Anatomy, which is a book that his mother gave him when he was recovering from surgery. When he was 7 years. He memorized Grey's Anatomy at the age of 7. That's how amazing this kid is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not the TV show.
No.
Okay, the real book.
The book on anatomy.
Yeah, I have it confused.
The music they created was more like noise rock and was entirely experimental. They were even attempting to play instruments that they didn't even know how to play. So there's this picture of Basquiat playing a clarinet. He did not play the clarinet. So it was a kind of a weird...
Just pretended?
Funny, odd. They weren't pretending. They were making this noise, essentially.
Oh.
Basquiat met famed artist Andy Warhol when he ran into him at a restaurant and sold Warhol one of his postcards that he designed. The two artists became quite close, and the relationship had a great effect on Basquiat and allowed for the pair to collaborate on several pieces of art, which mixed Warhol's pop art style with Basquiat's neo-expressionism. Warhol would create a work, and then Basquiat would deface it in his own style. However, this didn't sit well with a lot of critics, so they received some nasty criticism about their combined works.
Oh.
A friend later said that Basquiat didn't need Warhol, but Warhol needed Basquiat, who was filled with new and fresh ideas, while Warhol was basically at the end of his career.
Oh.
The relationship also allowed Basquiat to have his own real studio space for the first time. He rented Warhol's property at 57 Great Jones Street, beginning in August of 1983, which Basquiat used as his home and his workspace. With this friendship also came access to big dealers and art collectors. While he had sold his first painting to musician Debbie Harry of Blondie for $200 in 1981, within a year or so, his paintings were being sold for upwards of $20,000 each, which is huge. His solo shows were selling out of almost all of his works.
Just like that.
Just like that, like overnight. During the course of his life, his sexuality was always questioned. There were many who claimed that he was bisexual, but he never openly admitted to anything like that. He had a well-known relationship with Madonna for a little bit. Yep.
Oh, wow.
He had a lot of romantic relationships with women, but there were rumors that he had relationships with men too. However, there seems to be not a lot of proof of that. But he seems to have enjoyed having connections with fellow artists of all kinds and shapes and sizes. And but at the same time, he was also constantly on the go and constantly working. So he never settled down long enough to establish anything real with anyone. As one New York Times article put it, he was too busy endlessly fighting for recognition. From the time of his childhood, his goal was always to be famous. And by the age of 24, Basquiat was making nearly $1 million a year on his art.
Jeez.
Yes.
Good for him.
He was the most famous black artist of his time and arguably still is.
Well,
Now, of course, with this great wealth and celebrity comes lots of problems.
what does Lady Gaga call it? The fame monster.
The fame monster, yes.
Yeah.
Great example, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he spent his new wealth extravagantly. He enjoyed painting in Armani suits, filling his refrigerator with fancy French pastries, showering his friends with gifts, and handing out $100 bills to the homeless that lived on the streets around his studio. which is, yeah, that's nice.
Well, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It wasn't like blowing it on drugs and stuff.
He was.
Oh, okay.
He totally was.
Okay.
His friend and fellow artist Keith Haring, who you've probably seen his work, said that the spending was his way of, quote, sticking your nose up at people who were looking down at you. He went on to say, being black and a kid having dreadlocks, he couldn't even get a taxi, but he could spend $10,000 in his pocket. So sadly, yes, he was also spending upwards of $2,000 a week on drugs, which took a toll on his mental and physical health. Yeah. With the death of his friend Andy Warhol in 1987, Basquiat became increasingly isolated and paranoid. His use of drugs had become bad enough that he traveled to Maui in order to attempt to try rehab and kick the habit. His first attempt seemed to be successful, but upon his return to New York, it became clear to friends that he wanted to use heroin again, and decided to return to Maui in early August of 1988. However, the second attempt was unsuccessful, and he returned less than a week later. A friend who saw him in the city that week claimed that he was on, quote, a little binge. On August 12th, 1988, his lifeless body was discovered in his loft at 57 Great Jones Street. He had taken an overdose of heroin. He was only 27 years old.
Another 27 club.
27 club, yeah. With Basquiat's unique usage of scratches and scribbles of color, diagrams, symbols, words, poems, darkness and brightness, his works are statements of his world.
Oh.
He used symbolism and history to show the viewer the struggles and triumphs of the Black experience in America, and his own experience as a Black man in a world full of white artists comes across vividly in many of his pieces.
Mm-hmm.
While he was incredibly successful in his own time with sales to private collectors, very few museums wanted his work. And even after his death, it took some time before major museums expressed any interest in having his art.
Black?
Yeah, and his work was kind of something
avant-garde,
yeah,
different.
It was very different.
Well, isn't that kind of what museums do?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Isn't that the purpose of a museum?
So it took a long time before any of his art would end up in permanent museums' collections. And by the time a lot of these museums figured out how important he was, his work had become too expensive for a museum to afford. This has left most of his work in the hands of private collectors.
Okay.
So you don't often see his work in museums. In 2017, his 1982 work entitled, which kind of looks like a bright, colorful skull, sold for a record-breaking $110.5 million.
Did you buy it?
Girl.
Why don't you ask me to lend you the money?
Well, I mean,
it's in my other pants.
Next time I will.
Yeah, okay.
This still remains the second highest amount paid for a work by an American artist.
Oh, wow.
Which is huge. His work is very...
Who bought it?
I think some Japanese collector, actually. So
some guy?
Yeah, some dude.
You know what's so funny about the guy who bought it? I'm carrying his baby.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
If he's got that kind of money.
Yeah, no.
No? Good try?
Good try.
Okay.
But no.
I think I had that on my socials a couple of years ago. To the guy that won the Powerball. Guess what? It's yours.
Uh-huh.
No?
Good luck with that.
It's funny.
Yeah, you are funny.
I know. Thank
Yes.
you. Okay.
But anyway.
But that won't buy me $1 million piece of anything.
No. Sorry. It will not.
Okay.
So anyway, Jean-Michel Basquiat is buried at the beautiful Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn,
naturally, yeah.
with a very simple headstone.
You would figure like they would have taken his art and put it on like something.
No, it's a very plain marker.
He had no family, no.
No, he had him. His father was still alive. He
was never married, never kid, never had anything.
Oh no, he never settled down in that sort of way. His father,
that's terrible.
And his sisters were they're still alive. They're still overseeing his estate.
Okay.
And his work. So it's I think his father died 10 years ago or so. Mm-hmm. But yeah, his work is really incredible. You should look him up. Look up some of his pieces. Uh-huh. I've really kind of grown to appreciate them more recently. Some of them are pretty dark. Some of them are incredibly bright. There's a lot of poetry on them. There's things scribbled out. You can look at a Basquiat piece and several times and still kind of find new things in it.
Okay.
So yeah, very, like I said, neo-expressionism, very abstract. And I'm not always a big fan of abstract art, but I in recent months, really, I've actually grown to like his stuff, and I've been reading a bit about him. So I decided.
You're into it then.
Yeah, it's cool.
A story worth telling.
I think so.
That's what we do here.
Because
All my favorite people are dead. Yeah,
exactly.
that's what we do. We tell stories that are worth telling.
I think so. And I think, the fact that he remains probably one of the most successful African-American artists in our
And underrated, because I had to scratch my head when you said his name. I was like, who the hell? It was later when you described it. I was like, oh, I think I know that guy, but you may not know his name.
There was a film that came out in 1996 called Basquiat. And it had a lot of big players in it. Actually, David Bowie, who was a huge collector of Basquiat's work, played Andy Warhol in the film, which is interesting. So
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up the film.
Yeah. There's a lot of big names in that film.
I'm going to watch that film.
Basquiat. Yeah.
Basquiat.
Yeah.
B-A-S-Q-U.
Yeah, Basquiat.
Basquiat. The way it sounds.
Yeah, the way it sounds.
I'm going to look up the film. I'm going to look up more about his work.
Go check it out.
Why? Thank you for exposing me.
My job is to educate.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
You would think that would be my job. It is.
It is.
What is that thing I do?
But hey,
teach.
We can always learn new things. We never stop learning. We never stop learning.
Every day and the more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know.
Exactly.
You ever do that with a word? You come across the word and you're like, wow, I've never heard that word. And all of a sudden I keep hearing that word.
Yep.
It's crazy. No, that's good. It's good to broaden your horizons.
Absolutely.
Because that's what we do here on
All My Favorite People Are Dead.
Do you breathers?
Bye, breathers. Go see some art.
Some of us are crazy, some are smart and brave. Well, it doesn't really matter, we all end up in the grave. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. I say it, all my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead.